Hello students, welcome back to your video class. Today we are going to start your new chapter of English, the supplementary reader moments, and the chapter is the kingdom of fools. Students, you must have heard this story from the fox, and this is a very beautiful story written by a Kannada folk tale, and the author is A.K. Ramanujan. And this is a folk tales from India, means from the rural side of India, and especially Kannada. The original language is Kannada. And in Shakespeare's plays, the fools is not really foolish. If you have read or seen Shakespeare's plays such as King Lear, As You Like It, Twelfth Night, you may talk about the role of the fool. So you must have heard many other stories about the kings and the subjects and how they ruled, how they did the judgment and how was the kingdom. This is also one more story, and the title is Kingdom of Fools. Students, when there are stories about kings, mostly we talk about the very old past, and in the old ancient time when there was the rule of kings, people used to live under the empire of a king. And in this story, how the a foolish king made the rules, because in the kingdom of such king, the rules are made only by the kings, the emperor, and the people have to follow them. And how the king made the new rules for the kingdom, and let's read in this story. This is a very beautiful story. You will enjoy, and you will definitely like it. So this is called, it's better to have it's better to have an intelligent enemy than to a foolish friend. And this is obviously true. If you have intelligent enemy, you are safe because he will not harm you because of foolishness. But if you have a foolish friend, knowingly or unknowingly, he can harm you, he can be very dangerous for you. And in this story, we are going to read how the foolishness of a disciple and the foolishness of a king becomes trouble for both of them. And now see, it is believed that the fools are so dangerous that only very wise people can manage them. Who are the fools in this story? What happens to them? We are going to read. And in the kingdom of fools, this is imaginary story, both the king and the ministers were idiots. They didn't want to run things like other kings, because they thought that we must run something differently. We must run the kingdom different from other kings. So they decided to change night into day and day into night. Obviously, generally people work in the daytime and they rest at night. They do the business work in daytime, and they sleep at night and rest at night. But in this kingdom, the ministers and the king decided day into night and night into day. How they did and what they did, let's see. They ordered that everyone should be awake at night. Everyone should be awake at night till their fields, and run their businesses only after dark. So in the daytime everyone will sleep, and as soon as the sun sets, people will go to work, people will start the business, and only after the dark, and go to bed as soon as the sun came up. Or as soon as the sun rises, everyone will go to bed and sleep. So this was ordered in the kingdom of fools. Anyone who disobeyed would be punished with death. Anyone who disobeyed, went against the order, would be punished to death. The people did as they were told for fear of death. The king and the ministers were delighted at the success of their project. One day, a guru and his disciple arrived in the city. It was a beautiful city. It was broad daylight, but there was no one about, everyone asleep, not a mouse chirring. Even the cattle had been taught to sleep by day. The two strangers were amazed by what they saw around them and wandered around till the evening, when suddenly the whole town woke up and went about its nightly business. So what happened, students? One day one guru and his disciple came to this city, this kingdom, and it was broad daylight, daytime. So obviously, as that rule was made, everyone was sleeping in daytime. The streets were deserted, not a single, even animals also were were taught to sleep in the daytime. So no one was wandering outside. They did not see a single man outside. So they wandered here and there. They were surprised and amazed to see such a place. And as soon as the sun sets, everyone woke up and started their activities. People started business, opened the shops as soon as the night starts. The two men were hungry, and now that the shops were open, they went to buy some groceries. To their astonishment, means surprise. To their surprise, they found that everything cost the same, a single dudu. A single dudu means dudu was a currency of them. They call it dudu, single dudu. Whatever you want to buy, it was only in one dudu. So now you see many times in the market, you see the tax, MRP tax and the rate tax, that 99 store, everything is at 99 rupees. You get everything at 99 rupees. So this way in their kingdom, everything was for cost one dudu, whether they bought a measure of rice or a bunch of bananas, it cost dudu, a dudu. The guru and his disciple were delighted. They had never heard of anything like that, because this was the first place they visited, and such a place where at night shops were open and everything was in one dudu. Everything cost one dudu. They could buy all the food they wanted for a rupee, means 1 rupee, 1 dudu equal to 1 rupee. Everything was in 1 rupee. Whatever you want to buy, 1 rupee. When they had cooked and eaten, the guru realized that this was a kingdom of fools, and it would not be a good idea for them to stay there. This is no place for us. Let's go, he said to his disciple. But the disciple didn't want to leave the place. Everything was cheap here. All he wanted was good, cheap food, the guru said. So at night, when they had cooked and eaten, the guru realized that this was the kingdom of fools. So this place was not safe to stay for a long time, but the disciple was very greedy, wanted to eat and enjoy everything free of cost at cheap rate. So he said, he refused to go. They all are fools. This won't last very long. You can't tell what they will do to you next. So, but disciple did not go with Guru, and Guru said that this place is not good and this will not go longer. So you don't stay here at this such a place. And you even cannot think what they would do with you at later. But the disciple would not listen to the Guru's wisdom. He wanted to stay. The Guru finally gave up and said, "Do what you want, I am going." And Guru left. The disciple stayed on, ate his full every day, bananas and ghee, rice and wheat, and grew fat like a street side sacred bull. So obviously he ate at a very cheap rate, and he ate grocery, ghee, banana, and became very fat like a street bull in few days. One bright day, a thief broke into a rich merchant's house. What happened? He had made a hole in the wall and sneaked in, and as he was carrying out his loot, the wall of the house collapsed on his head and killed him on the spot. His brother ran to the king and complained, "Your Highness, when my brother was pursuing his ancient trade, a wall fell on him and killed him. This merchant is to blame. He should have built a good strong wall. You must punish this wrongdoer and compensate the family for this justice." So what happened in the kingdom? One night a thief broke into a merchant's house. So the time the thief went with the loot, the wall of the house fell on the merchant and he died. So the brother of the merchant complained to the king that the wall fell on my brother and he died. So the fault is of this, the merchant is to blame. And so that thief, when he was carrying out his loot, the wall of the old house left on his head. So that thief died. So the brother of the thief complained to the king that this wall fell on the head of his brother and he died, and this wall is of this merchant, so this merchant is to be blamed and punished and for wrongdoer and compensate the family for this injustice. The king said, "Justice will be done. Don't worry." At once summoned the owner of the house. So the king called the merchant. The thief broke into the merchant's house, and the king called the merchant. Because the thief had died, the wall fell on him. When the merchant arrived, the king questioned him, "What is your name?" "Such and such, your highness." "Were you at home when the dead man burgled your house?" "Yes, my lord. He broke in and the wall was weak. It fell on him." "You have murdered a man. We have to punish you." The king said. "Lord," said the helpless merchant, "I did not put up the wall. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall. He did not build it right. You should punish him." So when the king called the merchant and said that this thief died because your house wall fell on him, so you must be punished. So the merchant said, "Your highness, actually I did not build this wall. This wall was not built properly. So you must punish that person who built this wall." "Who is that, my lord, this wall was built in my father's time. I know the man. He is an old man now. He lives nearby. So the king said that you call the person who built this wall. And the merchant said that that is the old person now, because the wall was built in during his father's time. So the king sent for the person, old person. The king sent out messengers to bring the bricklayer who built the wall. Who had built the wall? They brought him tied hand and foot. You are there. Did you build this man's wall in his father's time? Yes, my lord, I did. What kind of a wall is this that you built? It has fallen on a poor man and killed him. You have murdered him. We have to punish you by death. So the king said, the bricklayer, that you built very poor wall and we have to punish you now because you made very poor wall, and that wall fell on the poor man and he died. You have murdered. Before the king could order the execution means orders, the poor bricklayer pleaded, requested, please listen to me before you give your orders. It's true, I built this wall and it was not good, but that was because my mind was not on it. I remember very well a dancing girl who was going up and down the street all day with the anklets jingling, and I could not keep my eyes on or my mind on the wall I was building. You must get the dancing girl. I know where she lives. And then what happened? That bricklayer said that, Lord, it was not my fault, because the time I was making the wall, that time my mind was not on the wall, because one young girl was going in the street up and down and she was wearing anklet, and the jingling of her anklet was distracting my mind from the wall. So this is not my fault, because that girl distracted my mind and I could not make the wall properly. So you must punish that girl. I know where she lives. You are right. The case deepens. We must look into it. It is not easy to judge such a complicated case. Let's get that dancer, wherever she is. The dancing girl, now an old woman, now she had become old woman, that time she was young, came trembling to the court. Did you walk up and down that street many years ago while the poor man was building a wall? Did you see him? Yes, my lord. I remember it very well. So you did walk up and down with your anklets jingling. You were young and you distracted him, so he built a very bad wall. So this is the story we are continuing. So the king called that dancer girl, and how she explains and how the king gives the judgment. So we'll continue with this story. You must enjoy and read this, and we are going to read it in your next class. Thank you so much.